What is up, guys? Welcome to Cerny Gaming. If you want to help support the channel, then go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Necrom is finally here. We have all got so much to be looking forward to with the advent of the brand new Arcanist class, and to kick things off, we're going to be starting with my Arcanist Tank Build for all group PvE content. If you haven't tried the Arcanist out on the PTS yet, then let me tell you, they absolutely excel above all else as a support class, both as tanks and healers. I definitely recommend you level up a tank now and try this out because it is absolutely unrivaled for group support and survivability. So let's get started with the core details. The race we'll be running is a Nord, which is pretty important because it will synergize well with our gear choices. However, if you prefer, both Argonians and Imperials make fantastic options as well, and I'd actually give an honourable mention to Bretons, who make surprisingly good tanks. We'll also be using the Bewitched Sugar Skulls food buff here, which gives us a nice spread of all three stats, along with some health recovery to boot. Tanks don't need much recovery, especially an Arcanist, so we don't need to use the Smoked Bear Haunch. I decided to go with the Atronach Munderstone since it will be most useful during gameplay for any tank. Our resistances and stats are high enough as it is, so this fits in perfectly. As a tank, it's important to carry a variety of potions for a variety of situations, but our most commonly used one will be your standard tri-potions, giving all three resources back in spades. Moving on to our champion points, starting in the warfare section, we have Duelist Rebuff for single target mitigation, Unassailable to help deal with area attacks, Enduring Resolve to reduce damage over time, and Ironclad to add direct damage mitigation. Since we have access to higher than normal recoveries on an Arcanist tank, I've gone for something a little bit different in the fitness section. We still have Bracing Anchor for block mitigation and Boundless Vitality for more health, but we also go with Ward Master and Shield Master to really boost the potency of our damage shields, which we have a lot of. Now that we've gone over the core details, let's check out the gear. First up is the Turning Tide set, which allows us to apply major vulnerability with the simple act of blocking and bashing, which comes easy to a tank. This lasts for 10 seconds, but synergizes with the next set. As you might have expected, that set is the Monster set and Nazare, which allows us to extend the duration of all major and minor debuffs to the 6 nearest enemies when we use our ultimate for 1 second per 20 ultimates spent. Save up your ultimate for the tough bosses and hit it with all 500 after the Turning Tide proc for a huge uptime. Next up is Saxhleel Champion, which again synergizes with our other sets. This allows us to provide a major force to our group when we use our ultimate for 1 second per 15 ultimates spent. This means we don't need to use Warhorn and can instead use Glyphic of the Tides, or a different ultimate if you prefer. Finally, we use the Puncturing Remedy 2-piece from Vet Dragonstar Arena. The rest of the build is for the group, but this is just for us, allowing us to heal and gain resistances by using our standard melee taunt. Alright, now let's check out our skills. On the front bar we have Runic Embrace, Chakram of Destiny, Defensive Stance, Impervious Rune Ward and Pierce Armor with Gibbering Shelter for our ultimate, and on the back bar we have Reconstructive Domain, Rune Guard of Still Waters, Silver Leash, Rune of the Colourless Pool and Crux Weaver's Armor with Glyphics of the Tides for the ultimate. Runic Embrace is a simple ranged taunt which also provides a heal, minor maim and minor lifesteal, which is a nice amount to get from one skill, making this very efficient. Chakram of Destiny is a great skill which applies a nice shield to you or up to 4 allies. This can be increased by casting again, but otherwise has no fuss and serves as a simple measure of boosting group survivability. Defensive Stance is another much bigger shield that only gets applied to you. That's great if you need it, but this is mostly here for the extra 10% block mitigation and block cost reduction that the skill passively applies just for being slotted. Next is Impervious Rune Ward, which is probably my favourite Arcanist skill. This is our biggest shield outright, consumes Crux to heal us, and even retaliates a bit of damage back. The most important part, however, is that the first second that the shield is active, it is increased absolutely massively, allowing it to serve almost like a parry when you know a big hit is coming in. Pierce Armor is our melee taunt, which is nice and simple, debuffs our enemies' resistances with major and minor breach and activates the Master's Sword and Shield that we use. Gibbering Shelter is a really interesting ultimate. Rather than providing an outright damage shield, it instead reduces damage by 60% up to a certain really massive amount. Each time we take damage, we also grant our group members huge shields as well, making this the perfect ultimate for high pressure fights. Another great and visually impactful skill is Reconstructive Domain, which provides additional health, magicka and stamina recovery, minor courage and even a heal to anybody standing in the wide area. Rune Guard of Still Waters has a lot of features. This provides minor resolve to you and your group, immobilizes nearby enemies and provides minor protection to you, which, if you take damage below 50% health, is traded for a strong heal. If you have a healer using combat prayer, consider this to be a flex slot and maybe use something else that you prefer. While it isn't always needed, especially on many boss fights, Silverleash is great to have unlocked to pull in adds and arrange the battlefield. Trade this if you are definitely dealing with a fairly stationary boss with no adds. Rune of the Colourless Pool is a great skill that applies minor vulnerability and minor brittle. Brittle in particular is not so easy to come by, so this is an excellent to have skill and means that you don't need to use elemental blockade. The stun doesn't work on bosses of course, but the debuffs will still apply. Cruxweaver's armor is our source of major resolve to boost our resistances, and also periodically provides crux when we take damage, while also retaliating with minor breach. The crux can be spent on Impervious Rune Ward to heal us in a pinch. And finally, we have Glyphic of the Tides. This provides our group with up to 200 extra weapon and spell damage on top of a nice heal over time, providing we can fully heal the Matrix Cube thing that we summon. The group can contribute to the heals, making this actually a fairly easy job. That should cover everything that you need to know to make your own Arcanist tank. The new class really does take the support role to a new level, and I can't wait to get stuck in and start collecting those achievements with it. Thanks very much, guys. If you want to help support the channel, then don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and drop your thoughts into the comment section below. Take care, and as always, have fun.